Distillation is a method of separation. In this lab, we use distillation to separate alcohol from the other components in the solution.
Okay, so the purpose of this lab was to explore concepts of distillation by performing the process in the lab. In order to determine whether or not the labeled percentage of alcohol on bottles of vodka, rubbing alcohol, Windex window cleaner, and Purell hand sanitizer were accurate by using the alcohol's different boiling points in the substances to separate them from the rest of the solution.
The hypothesis of our experiment was that if the alcohol in the solutions evaporates before the other substances, then the percentage of alcohol should be the same as the percentage given on the alcohol labels. The variables were the type of alcohol being distilled, which is the independent variable. The dependent variable was the percentage of alcohol by volume in the mixture, and the two controls were heat at which the alcohol was being distilled and the volume of alcohol being distilled. This is a picture of a distillation apparatus. You can see in the distilling flask there's a solution, and underneath is the Bunsen burner to raise the temperature of the solution. Alcohols normally have lower boiling points than the rest of the solution, so the alcohol will evaporate out first, and the alcohol vapor will condense in the condenser, which is cooled by tap water running through it. And the condensed alcohol will then drip into the receiving flask and form a distillate.
100 milliliters Purell hand sanitizer. 150 milliliters of 75% isopropyl alcohol. 100 milliliters 40% ethanol alcohol or drinking alcohol. 100 milliliters of 4% alcohol Windex window cleaner. First, we measured the volume of all of the substances we were going to distill. For the 75% isopropyl alcohol, we used 100 milliliters in the first trial. The rubbing alcohol was then poured into the distillation apparatus to be distilled. The Bunsen burner was lit, and the rubbing alcohol began to heat up. The alcohol boiled shortly before 82.5 degrees Celsius and stayed there until all the alcohol was gone. After the alcohol began to condense in the condensing tube, it began to appear in the receiving flask in liquid form. That's pure isopropyl alcohol.
When the temperature on the thermometer moves up from 82 degrees, it means that the presence of the alcohol is now gone in the distillation flask and has moved to the receiving flask.
After measuring the distillate, we found there to be 73.7 milliliters of isopropyl alcohol. This process was then repeated 3 other times with the other substances. Here is the distillation of Windex window cleaner. Here's the distillation of the hand sanitizer, which took a long time to complete due to the viscous nature of the hand sanitizer. Here's the distillation of the 40% ethanol alcohol or vodka. It boiled pretty consistently at 78 degrees Celsius. After the distillation process was complete and the thermometer could no longer stay at a constant temperature, we'd remove the distillate from the receiving flask and measure the volume of the alcohol distilled. Here is shown the results after the hand sanitizer was distilled. It to be 30.1 milliliters.